a single, rarely discussed visa category, tucked away deep within the US Code of Federal Regulations, has inadvertently become the unexpected epicenter of a transatlantic storm, revealing a fundamental schism in how justice is applied across the global elite. This precise detail, the A1 head of state diplomatic visa, now stands at the very heart of an escalating controversy surrounding the immigration status of Prince Harry within the United States. The unfolding drama has ignited an intense wave of global fury and severe public debate, particularly across the United Kingdom, focusing on the Duke of Sussex's apparent utilization of inherited aristocratic privilege to bypass stringent federal immigration laws that routinely penalize ordinary citizens. Ever since the global publication of his highly controversial tell-all memoir, Spare, extensive speculation has steadily mounted regarding whether the prince was ever subjected to the mandatory background checks and vetting procedures required for individuals with a documented history of controlled substance usage. In the pages of his own book, the prince openly admitted to the historic consumption of multiple illicit substances, including cannabis within both the United Kingdom and California, as well as cocaine in his home country. Under standard American immigration protocols, such explicit admissions of illegal drug consumption automatically trigger immediate grounds for inadmissibility, frequently resulting in the outright denial of entry or residency due to criminal and mental health regulations, yet the Duke remains untouched in his luxurious California estate. According to authoritative legal perspectives and well-placed sources specializing in international immigration frameworks, the Duke of Sussex is almost certainly exempt from the standard security screenings that millions of ordinary travelers must endure. This extraordinary level of institutional leniency is heavily believed to stem from his utilization of the highly exclusive diplomatic visa category, specifically the A1 head of state visa. This elite classification, clearly outlined within the official Code of Federal Regulations, explicitly states that any non-immigrant alien who presents a diplomatic passport or its direct equivalent shall be deemed fully eligible to receive a diplomatic visa, a luxury that expressly extends to active members of a currently reigning royal family. Because Prince Harry possesses an unalterable bloodline connection to the British monarchy, he remains an eligible beneficiary of this supreme international status, a reality that has sparked immense public outrage. This situation exposes a profound moral hypocrisy where an individual can systematically attack, denigrate, and publicly distance himself from the institution of the monarchy while simultaneously relying on its most potent legal protections to secure his permanent residency abroad. The specific operational guidelines of the A1 visa category reveal a massive legal loophole that essentially places the prince entirely above the standard statutory consequences faced by ordinary individuals. While the vast majority of traditional foreign diplomats are strictly required to enter the United States on behalf of their respective national governments to perform official state duties, the regulations governing heads of state and royal family members are immensely flexible. Under these special terms, an eligible royal can obtain and maintain an A1 visa regardless of the actual underlying purpose of their stay in the country. This means Prince Harry is legally permitted to reside in America solely for personal, commercial, or recreational purposes without ever needing to perform a single official duty on behalf of the British government. He does not need to be a working member of the royal household, nor does he require the formal endorsement of the ruling monarch to preserve this status. As long as he retains his titled position within the royal family tree, the diplomatic shield remains fully intact, providing an unyielding barrier against federal scrutiny. Furthermore, the security thresholds associated with this particular diplomatic status are astonishingly low, offering an absolute safeguard against the drug-related inadmissibility rules that governs standard visa applications. Legal experts point out that the standard vetting processes regarding past criminal conduct, substance dependencies, or mental health concerns are completely waived for A1 visa holders. Under the strict provisions of the United States Immigration and Nationality Act, only the most extreme grounds relating to international terrorism and immediate national security threats are applicable to individuals traveling under this specific diplomatic umbrella. Consequently, American consular authorities are legally restricted from evaluating the prince under the standard criteria for substance abuse or historic controlled substance violations. His written confessions of heavy narcotics usage, which would normally result in a lifetime ban for an ordinary foreign national, carry absolutely no weight under this specialized framework. This ensures that his ability to remain in the country and seamlessly renew his documentation remains entirely unobstructed by his past actions. This blatant double standard has ignited a massive political and legal firestorm within the United States, where conservative watchdog organizations and legal advocacy groups are fiercely campaigning for absolute transparency. Demands have been officially lodged to compel federal departments to release the prince's confidential immigration records to determine the exact nature of the screening process he underwent. The government's persistent refusal to disclose these documents, citing strict individual privacy protections, has only intensified public suspicion and deepened the widespread belief that a high-level cover-up is actively taking place. Critics argue that the foundational integrity of the American legal system is severely compromised when a prominent global celebrity can openly market his violations of federal drug laws while enjoying total immunity from the consequences. The immense contrast between the seamless accommodation granted to the Duke and the grueling, often punitive experiences of everyday immigrants has turned this situation into a prominent symbol of systemic inequality, a point not lost on the British public. Within the United Kingdom, public sentiment has rapidly deteriorated from general disapproval to widespread condemnation. Citizens across the nation are increasingly demanding that the government take decisive action to strip the Duke of Sussex of all remaining titles and official recognitions to permanently halt this perceived exploitation of ancestral privilege. The prevailing sentiment suggests that if an individual actively chooses to renounce their institutional duties and constantly profits from media campaigns targeting the royal family, they should logically forfeit the accompanying diplomatic immunities. Retaining a high-level diplomatic shield while aggressively criticizing the very source of that shield is widely viewed as an unacceptable display of double standards. This ongoing drama has effectively transformed the prince's public status from a vulnerable individual seeking independent freedom into a striking example of elite entitlement, using his family name as a permanent shield against the rules. As the legal challenges and media scrutiny continue to mount, international immigration authorities find themselves trapped in an incredibly awkward geopolitical position. The controversy forces an uncomfortable spotlight onto the hidden mechanisms of international diplomacy, where historic royal courtesies and strategic allied relationships frequently take precedence over the uniform execution of domestic laws. While maintaining this special treatment prevents an uncomfortable diplomatic rift between Washington and London, it significantly alienates the general public who expect equal justice for all. The extensive details of substance abuse within the memoir, originally presented as a brave declaration of personal honesty, have ultimately transformed into an undeniable piece of evidence documenting how the global elite can effortlessly navigate around legal obstacles that would completely ruin the lives of ordinary citizens. The long-term implications of this visa scandal extend far beyond the immediate legalities, threatening to permanently tarnish the historical legacy of the modern monarchy itself, a critical institution within the British cultural landscape. For generations, the royal house has attempted to project a persona of dutiful service strict compliance with the law, and shared sacrifice with the British public. However, the spectacle of a rebellious prince utilising his inherited status to evade federal drug regulations creates a highly damaging perception of elite immunity. This controversy reinforces the argument that the aristocracy operates within an entirely separate reality, where laws are merely suggestions and birthright provides an absolute exemption from accountability. As the public demands for total transparency grow louder, the pressure on both the palace and international lawmakers will continue to escalate, ensuring that this dramatic chapter remains a central focus of global attention and a defining moment in the royal narrative.